Breaking! Boys 24 Sung-ho leaves subgroup after alleged dark past revealed.
Jin Sung-ho, the former member of Boys 24, has some serious issues with his past that have made it so he can no longer be part of the K-pop group.
That's wrong. He is still a part of the K-pop group. He's not a former member. He's just not a member of the debuting, touring, promotional group.
So they didn't fully kick him out forever, they just kicked him out temporarily?
Temporarily.
So he's suspended.
He's suspended. He stepped down from the promotional group that was supposed to be 9 members, and now there are only 8 members. But there's still all of these boys that are part of this Boys 24 that he can still continue to be in future Boys 24 promotions and things.
If you've heard about this on your own before watching this video, comments, how do you feel about that? Let's just get into what the allegations against him are when he was in high school. I have a statement from the article. In the original post, Sung-ho is accused of constantly bullying a female classmate. They allege that during one argument, Sung-ho became so angry he berated her and flipped a table. He was held back by other students until he insisted he would be calm, but immediately choked the female student when released. He is also being accused of making rude comments about female students' physical appearances. He would tell them to shoot pornographic videos and then say they wouldn't be good because they're too ugly.
And he did several things on top of that, including burning school documents, hiding them in his friend's locker, and then his friend took the responsibility and had to do like community service for his actions. And he's also done other things like underage smoking.
I was listening to a podcast just a couple days ago where a doctor proclaimed, I don't know if this is exactly true, but it kind of makes sense when you think about it, that in society, the most dangerous type of person is a teenage boy because he's got the power of a man, but he's got the brain of a boy. And he went on to explain that the reasoning for this, or one of the reasons, is that the frontal lobe for a human being doesn't fully develop until about age 25. And so none of us are really fully adult or able to make adult decisions or just be fully mature until around mid-20s age. You kind of think of it that way. It makes sense, like a 15-year-old boy, a 16-year-old boy, reckless and totally dangerous if not trained properly from birth until that age.
Well, and I don't even want to necessarily blame his parents. Clearly, he's made some bad decisions in his life, and I don't want to defend him at all in the slightest. But I will say there is no proof that he's actually done these things.
Thank you for bringing that up, because the accuser of this information is an anonymous netizen. And so that takes away a little bit from how we should just put blame on Sung-ho before we actually know unequivocally if he actually did this. I do want to read another quote from the article. The online user who released these allegations claims there is little to no evidence because of how long ago these acts were committed. The user claims that smartphones were not as common as they are now, so they were only able to provide yearbook photos and the above summary as their evidence. He's 22 years old, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that means 5 years ago maximum he was in high school, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so if he, did this when he was first year high school, they have 3 years of high school total. So if he did it as a first year freshman in high school, it would have been 5 years ago. So that put him in 2012. Smartphones were released in 2010 in South Korea, and we were both there when they were released. They were instantly scooped up by almost literally everyone.
Well, they were actually released in 2009 because I met you the first day that I saw a Galaxy smartphone, and you already had the ability before that to take photos and video evidence on a phone, smartphone or not.
I think that girl who had the smartphone, because I remember that night, of course, brought that over from the US. But either way, that's not even important. The important thing is that they had smartphones in 2012. So I don't like this saying that, oh, they didn't really have smartphones when this happened, because if it happened on his senior year, it would have been 2014, and they were all using smartphones. I mean, all my students had smartphones. They all had, there was nobody who didn't have a smartphone unless they were from Timbuktu, and they, parents were poor, and he or she was on full scholarship at Kyunghee.
Yeah, I find it very unconvincing that somebody didn't have a smartphone, only because I know that it would make sense elsewhere, but South Korea is such a technologically adapt society, and they've embraced technology so much that even kindergartners have smartphones, and everybody walks around with a smartphone no matter what age you are. There are some exceptions, of course, but I find it really strange that you had people holding this guy back, you had all of this interaction, all of these examples of bullying, and there's no photo evidence, there's no video evidence. I'm not saying that he didn't do it.
No, and it's possible that nobody videotaped this happening or that happening, but I don't like them saying that, there weren't really smartphones that were common during that time, because that's effing bullshit. So it's possible that there's no evidence at all, but I don't like the reasoning that there's no evidence.
He has actually admitted to some of this, and he has said that he has...
Really?
Well, he hasn't necessarily admitted it. He said that he made a lot of mistakes and he was kind of a bully in high school, and he was tearful and remorseful to his entertainment company, CJE&M.
Yeah, because he's gonna lose his entire future if that's what he wants to pursue.
But he's not the first person to have issues with Boys 24. If you remember
Right.
back, Hwa Young of Boys 24 he had to leave, and he got expelled because he was saying nasty things about netizens and fans, but there was evidence for that, and I think that's why he was forced to remove himself from the group. There's no set evidence. There's speculation, there's comments, there's rumors, there's stories, and I do believe that they've actually gotten information from more than one source, and not just that one source. But even so, if there's no actual evidence or proof, he doesn't have to leave the entertainment company.
Well, I think the key to this story is that now it looks like Boys 24 are a reckless bunch, or just that the image of Boys 24 is a little bit more tarnished than when Hwa Young made his mistake, because if they have a whole bunch of guys and one guy makes a mistake, maybe it's just a bad apple. But now we got this other guy. I mean, there was a comment on this article which in under 13 hours got over 1,500 thumbs up, which said, Boys 24 has no chill. And that was one of the first things that went through my head when I read this was, wait a second, didn't Boys 24 just have a controversy recently? These are very, very bad allegations. So we don't know how true they are, but nobody wants to know that a K-pop star was not just bullying, but like doing all these things to women. Like, that's completely against what we think of when we imagine what a K-pop idol is like. Like, really, their life has to be perfect.
Well, and that's what it should be. You shouldn't have people like this in K-pop idol positions, in positions where they're interacting with lots of fangirls all at once. However, I will say that when you get a big group of guys, I'm sorry, statistics have proven when you get a lot of guys, you're gonna have one or two that have some issues or have a past that can get brung up and dredged up. I hate to be like, oh, this is gonna be okay, but I think that for Boys 24, overall, these guys aside, it's going to be okay, and I don't think that this should reflect badly on the group overall as a whole.
Seriously, please comment. A lot of you are girls. I know most people have witnessed some sort of bullying in their past, whether it was directed at them or just indirectly you observed it. If you went to some sort of public institution anywhere in the world, comments, please.
What are your thoughts on this one? Do you think that Boys 24 should remove him from the group? Do you think that this makes Boys 24 a bad boy group? Or do you think that this is still a group that you look forward to and anticipate seeing upcoming promotions? What are your thoughts?
Click the like button. Thank you so much for supporting us. Click the bell for notifications. Check out the link to Kgal, top of the description, and don't forget to subscribe for more Hallyu Back news. That's it. We're out of here. Hasta luego.
Bye! Your voice cracked.
Affirmative.